And welcome everybody back to another live severe weather discussion stream. Because even though it wasn't too crazy yesterday, we do have another threat of severe weather that's coming in on Saturday. So how's everybody doing this evening? We have lots to talk about. This setup is slightly different than what we're normally used to. So like I said, we almost didn't have to change the graphic here, but severe weather is likely tomorrow. We're gonna let you know about the morning storms. We do have some morning storms that are going to be moving through, so we'll let you know the timing throughout the whole entire day. We'll walk you through hour by hour. We'll give you the impacts, damaging winds, tornadoes, things like that, uncertainties that we're still trying to work out in the final forecast. And if you have any questions, make sure you drop them in the chat. And once again, like I mentioned, we have severe weather coming back to our area. And how are you guys doing today? Glad to see you all this evening. And like I mentioned, severe weather is back on the table. We got a day off today. It was very nice, but unfortunately we are back here for another live discussion stream because we have another enhanced risk of severe weather. Not for everybody. The enhanced is not for everyone, but we do have another chance of severe weather that I think is worth talking about to you live here on the live stream, because there's a lot of things that we need to break down. So how's everybody doing today? Let me know in the chat how your day was. And the temperature was very nice. It's 84 degrees outside. Humidity is 42. So that is very nice. And I also made a little custom thing down below. It's still a work in progress, so you can take a look at it. This goes over the general forecast of the area. But welcome back everybody, glad to see y'all, and just waiting for a couple people to pop in here. This is going to get a couple things ready while we do that here. So you can see on your screen, this is what we're going to be talking about. Make sure we cover all the areas of this situation. So make sure you share the live stream, and we are going to talk about the severe weather risk that we have in place. So Storm Prediction Center updates the day 2 outlook twice. So there was a morning update and there was an afternoon update. And before I let you know that morning update, I don't think Facebook, there's an outage. I don't think it displayed the right outlook, but here is the latest outlook that we have. So you can see Union, a little bit right on the west side of Potosi, and points west of there are in a 3 out of 5 of the severe weather scale. And I always forget to do this, so welcome everyone. Glad to see you all here. And we're going to not take up too much time because we're going to watch, well, I am going to watch the soccer game and a little bit at 8 o'clock. So let's take a look here. So in this orange area, remember, almost deja vu as yesterday, is a 3 out of 5 of severe weather. And like I mentioned the other day, this is not 3 out of 5 chances that you'll see severe weather. This is that scattered, the numerous storms could be severe. And then as we go into the yellow area, which is majority of us, and also into the Illinois side, this is where we have a 2 out of 5 on a severe weather scale. And on the very far end of the screen, you can see we have a 1 out of 5 on a severe weather scale, which is the lowest before you get to 0. So we have a widespread area here. And once again, remember how I said, is always take a look at the outlook and you can see kind of what you're looking at here. And you see how it goes to the east and it fades into like nothing basically. So we have a 3 out of 5 for basically Warrenton and Franklin County, and I believe it's Washington County down there near the Potosi areas, all in a 3 out of 5. Everyone else, majority of us that we cover here on the Facebook page, is in a 2 out of 5 of severe weather. So it's almost just a little bit the same here. Now we're going to break down the potential here. So tornado threat is possible, everyone. The tornado threat is there, but it's on the low end. This is the lowest threat of the tornado category that you can get without saying 0. So this is the very low end. It's a 2%. The higher end is not even that high. It's going to be off towards Central and Kansas City, over in that area, near Columbia, Jefferson City, Kansas City, Topeka, Ottawa, places like those have a higher end tornado threat that's in the brown. So very low end, and when it's very close to the edge of cutting off, it means that the tornado threat is very not likely. I'm not really seeing too much of that. The main reason of the severe weather event is, and I want to make sure you guys know as well, it's still conditional. So even though we have the outlook here, we still need to pay attention. And this is why, right here, that you see on your screen, this is why we have the severe weather risk. It's for the wind. So you can see in the red here, this is a 30% chance of seeing wind gusts over 70 miles per hour with some 80 miles per hour in the hatch risk. So like I mentioned, Warren County, Franklin County, a little bit of Washington County, over near Rolla, Jefferson City, the Lynn area, is going to be seeing a major wind threat, and maybe some 60 to 70 miles per hour will be possible in the yellow area here. Like I said, it's almost deja vu as yesterday. And as we go into the hail, hail is not a main concern. So it's on the low end for the hail risk, and it's on the low end for the tornado risk. So mainly looking at wind here as we look at the outlook here. Not really too much has changed. So let's take a look at the timing here. And we're going to use our old trusty weather model, just so you guys can see the times at the top part of your screen. So let me get that loaded up here in just a second. Also, while I'm loading the screen, do you guys like this 4th of July edition of the TKW hat? I'm going to be a judge in a parade, so I'm going to be wearing this. So let me know if you guys like it. I think it looks pretty good. All right, so let's get into the data here. We're going to show you multiple data because they're a little bit different. So we want to make sure we cover all the areas. So I'm just going to get the timing popping up on the screen. Just wait just a second, everyone. And let's see if it's this one. Okay, here we go. Okay, time is coming down. And down below, the ticker, the information thing may not be, we're testing it out, may not be completely accurate. So it's okay if it messes up. So let's take a look at the timing, everyone. We are looking at the timing. So this is where you want to pay attention. So this is the latest long range data that we have so far right now. So let's take a look, because there's a lot of things that we need to talk about. So as we go into the rest of the overnight hours, once we end our live stream, it'll be good. The times in the top part here, you can follow along. It's 1 a.m. Everything's looking good. Now, once we get to 2 a.m., we're going to have some showers and thunderstorms that build off to our west. And they're going to form pretty good, but it's really going to take till about 5 a.m. for these storms to really start getting together. And it's going to be widespread, scattered. It's going to be loud when you're first waking up here. And I'm not seeing any severe weather potential with this, but can't rule out an isolated severe storm. But I do not think that's going to be the main event. Now we go into the afternoon time. You can see it starts to wrap up here around 1 p.m., 2 p.m. It really starts to move out of our area, and by 3, we are completely dry. And remember, daytime heating, the sun doesn't go down till about 8:30, so we have a lot more time to heat up. And as we go into the evening time here, this is when it's going to start to get very busy. We're going to have another line of storms that is moving through. Look at the line of storms, a little bit more impressive than what it looked like last night here. Looks a little bit stronger, and it's going to be moving a little bit later. So you can see this is 9, 10, 11 is where it's covering all of our area, and we will be live during this time. If we get severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings, we will be live here covering the event. But it looks like it'll move out the majority of the area by 2 a.m. So the main thing is around 9, 10, 11, and 12. Need to stay aware on the Facebook page with these severe storms coming through. So that is the NAM model. I mean, this is the HRRR. We will show the NAM, and then we'll get to the uncertainties. So we're going over the timing right now. If you're just tuning in, we just saw the severe weather outlook of what the Storm Prediction Center is thinking. Now we're going into the models to see what we can expect. Now, the NAM here in the morning is a little bit more aggressive with the showers and thunderstorms. I do think we'll see showers and thunderstorms. I will be awake monitoring the storms, make sure we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings early, but I wouldn't worry about any severe weather, but don't be surprised if we get one or two that try to go crazy. But storms should be out of here by around 2, 3 o'clock. We will get some dry time until we get into the evening time. And watch the NAM. It brings these storms in a little bit later, and actually the newest run is really not showing much potential with this. So this is the worst case. It was showing, must have been the earlier data that we saw. But you can see it thinks the morning storms are going to be around too long, and there's not going to be enough recovery. So by the time the rest of it moves through, look at it. It's basically almost nothing coming through here. So nothing to worry about with this model. And that's what we're trying to figure out here. This is the uncertainty. So the worst case scenario, here is the worst case scenario, is that we have morning storms. So we'll have the morning storms coming through. Like I said, don't be surprised if we get an isolated severe storm. And I do think we'll have some dry time around 2, 3 o'clock. But here's the thing. If the storms in the morning last too long into the afternoon, it will limit the severity of the evening threat. So it's one of those situations that we have to monitor throughout the day, and we'll keep you updated as well. But see, as we get into the evening time, if it was the atmosphere to recover like the HRRR thinks, we could see some scattered or a line of thunderstorms with damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour. Some isolated spin-up tornadoes can't be ruled out as well when they're in a line. We always have to factor that in. And some isolated hail, but I don't really see the hail threat being super significant that's moving through. So about 9, 10, 11, 12, if the atmosphere recovers, is going to be the prime time for the severe storm. So it's a little bit late on, but it's a Saturday. And like I said, we're going to be live covering this if we get that severe round of storms in the afternoon time. So it's very conditional right now. It is very conditional right now because this is the worst case scenario. It moves through, we recover, and the second line of storms you see on your screen are moving in very, very late. And then, like I mentioned before, if you see the NAM model, this does a really good job showing the two scenarios here. See, look at the NAM model. It shows those morning thunderstorms that are going to be possible. I'm pretty confident that we'll see thunderstorms in the morning here. And as we go into the afternoon time, the NAM does not think the atmosphere will recover. And it's not really showing much of anything as we go into the overnight hours. Not even seeing any storm potential at all. So that is the best case scenario. So there's two sides to this. And really, we won't know the true forecast. We can continue to watch the models throughout the day, but we can't really tell the full forecast until we see how long that rain ends. If it rains early, there's a higher threat of severe weather. If it rains late, there could be potential lower severe weather event to none. Like we're not even seeing any severe storms at all. So that's why I said we have to monitor the forecast. And that's why I've been saying, like a broken record, very conditional, because it could happen. It could happen. The dynamics are there. It could happen. But we just have to see if the morning storms are going to limit the instability for later. So we want the morning storms to last as long as possible, so then we don't have any severe weather chances in the evening. And even those moving in late, if it has instability, it still has all those hours to ramp up, get that warm, humid air, and it can still push through. So even if the storms are coming in late like we are seeing here around 9, 10, 11 o'clock, it still shows potential that it could still be severe. So I wanted to let you guys know that It's nothing to panic about because it's conditional. It's not set in stone that we're going to see that second line of storm. So I want to make sure you're clear about that. But this is potentially what the radar could look like. And that's why the Storm Prediction Center outlook has been bouncing around because they're trying to look at the same data that we are to really see where the atmosphere is going to recover or where it might be a little bit conditional. So if there's a little bit more confidence that the atmosphere is going to recover quickly, we could move back into a 3 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. So I don't want you to be surprised if that happens because it does update around midnight and like 7 a.m. So the 7 a.m. update, we could always get a bump up to a level 3 out of 5. It could be possible if confidence increases that we will see the second line of storms. Now, if the model, the HRRR agrees with the NAM, where it's going to be less severe weather, I can see it being knocked down a little bit more, almost to maybe a marginal threat. But I think they're playing it safe right now because, unfortunately, just a few hours towards the event, we still have a lot of uncertainties. Unlike this past storm, we were fairly confident that a line of storms were going to come through. Damaging winds, all hazards will be possible. But this one's just a little bit more on the conditional side. So basically, the message that I'm saying here is that prepare for the severe weather. There is a threat for severe weather. We do have the severe weather in place. Okay, so we still have a severe weather risk in place. Damaging winds is going to be the main concern. Main concern is going to be damaging winds. That's why we have the 2 out of 5 and the 3 out of 5 of severe weather. It's for the wind. That is the main wind talk is going to be what we're going to be preaching about the next few hours, next couple hours about this. But this is what it could look like. You can see 9 p.m. if we do get some recovery. And then the NAM is showing no recovery from the morning storms and almost little to nothing happening with this system. So don't be surprised if we get out easy again and nothing happens, but also don't be alarmed if we have the severe storms that are rolling through. But the morning storms, we could see an isolated severe storm. If that does happen, we will be live covering that. So we're going to be monitoring throughout the whole day this severe weather potential from the morning to the afternoon and evening. We're going to be here all day and we're going to be going live as needed to make sure we keep you ahead of the storm. So if you're new here or if you know anybody that is going to be on the go and it's going to be looking for updates, make sure to let them know that we will be here and providing live updates. But yeah, I wouldn't be like, I don't think the scenario will be possible where we don't get anything, but I think we could at least get some storms. I think a couple severe storms at best here. So that is the forecast. That is the timing at the very least. We're going to go to the National Weather Service here. And we're going to go to our favorite graphic to what they have made here. So like I said, the severe weather potential is there, but it's just not a guarantee. It's hard, it's very difficult to make a guarantee about this. So even now, we're still thinking it's going to be conditional, everyone. But I want you guys to prepare for both. So there is a chance that we get nothing, but there's also a chance that the atmosphere will be able to recover. It is close to the summertime where it's getting lighter out later. So that could always enhance, get more time for the atmosphere recover. The sun is not going down earlier like the past couple of events. It's staying out later, which could always try to ramp up some type of instability. So like I said, there's something that we have to be monitoring there. National Weather Service, you can see storm timing is agreeing. So if we do see storms, it is, so the morning time, the storms, I do agree with this, so I'm going to let you know, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. So the morning storms about 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., but it could be a little bit earlier, so we're going to make sure we're monitoring that. And they also have a lower chance of organizing enough to produce severe weather, but I will be up and monitoring that just in case if we happen to get a warning or two we'll bring that to you live here. And then the evening, it's more going to be almost overnight hours between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. is where we have to watch out for that line of storms. As the atmosphere recovers towards the evening and overnight hours, that's when we could see our severe weather event. So the severe weather matrix here almost looks, I think it's basically the same. So tornado threat, everyone, low, not zero, it's not none. And if we do see any, it's going to be very weak. So EF0, EF1, we're not seeing any strong tornado outbreaks with this, and it's not a tornado event. Isolated hail up to quarter size will be possible, not really expecting any damage from the hail. And then as we go into the wind department, that's where we are a little bit elevated on the scale. So scattered damaging winds, cover the storms with damaging winds. So lots of damaging winds, scattered damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour is what we're watching. So this box right here is what we're watching. All these are low, very low on here. It's almost zero, but we can't put zero just in case. But the main severity of the storm is going to be wind. We could get a couple tornado warnings. Like I said, the atmosphere recovers, but I really do not see a big tornado outbreak at the moment. So, but it is possible, but I want to hop on here on live and just tell you the uncertainties that we will be dealing with, because the morning storms could always last too long and we get no severe weather in the afternoon. But we could have morning storms and they clear out and we regain the energy and we have strong storms. So not ruling out the strong storms. We need to make sure we're aware of that. But it's going to be damaging winds, not really seeing too much a tornado threat. So no need to hang out in the basement at this time. There's no need to panic. No need to have anxiety over this. It's just we need to monitor heavy on the system, because the morning storms is really going to tell us, like I mentioned in the post before, it's really going to tell us what we're working with throughout the day. And even if the morning storms move out and we still have lingering cloud cover, that will also limit the event. So if you see like cloud cover like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock, basically almost nothing's happening. Now, if we see sunshine between like 1 and 7, then we have to stand on guard and be ready for some severe storms that are moving through. So, but regardless, I do think we'll see some type of rain because another cold front is going to be moving through. But you can see the morning storms. The National Weather Service is still uncertain on how much instability can be forecast for the second part of the event. So, other things I want to let you guys know, other uncertainties that I want to let you guys know here, is the timing of the cold front. So let's put this back up. So the timing of the cold front, I know it sounds like a lot here, but there's just no actual forecast here. Like it's one of those difficult situations which we can't just call the storms and it's like, hey, do you think you're going to be going on until about 1 p.m.? Do you think about 6 p.m.? We're not sure. We can't call them. So it's almost, I don't like these systems because it's a wait and see kind of setup. I'm just going to be honest with you. There's no right forecast for this system because no one knows. There's no accurate way to figure out if the morning storms are going to be lingering around too long. You have to look at radar in the morning and it's like, okay, well, it's 11 a.m., 12 p.m., still rain. Okay, now we can adjust that forecast. So I would expect to see some updates from the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center with the outlook. So make sure you're monitoring for that tomorrow, at least in the morning time, because we have the morning storms. But also, not only that, I wanted to let you know the cold front could always speed up a little bit by 2 hours, or it could be delayed by 2 hours. So the timing could roughly change here. So even though it's showing 9 p.m., I wouldn't set on 9 p.m. It could always be 7 p.m. or it could be 11 p.m. We just have to wait and see. But the timing has been fairly consistent, so I'm not really seeing too much of that happening tomorrow. But I do think severe weather is going to be possible. It has been somewhat consistent with the HRRR that we could see some severe storms being likely, so that is what we're monitoring there. So, like I mentioned, basically, conditional threat of severe weather tomorrow. Conditional threat of severe weather. Let's go back to the outlook here. Let's go back to the outlook so you guys can take a look here. So, it is conditional. And if you're not sure what conditional means that there is going to be morning storms that could limit the severity of the event, the main event, in the evening time. So that is what we're monitoring. But right now, the Storm Prediction Center, you can see if we zoom in here, has Warren County, Franklin County, places near Steelville, Sullivan, just west of Potosi, and a 3 out of 5. And then the rest of us that I have not mentioned is in a 2 out of 5 of seeing severe weather. And as you move off to the east, a 1 out of 5 and a 0 out of 5 once you get to Cincinnati and Indianapolis. But I don't really see a tornado outbreak. I really don't think tornadoes are going to be the main talk of the town. But like I said, there is possibility that it could end up last night, like how it did last night. We were forecasting severe storms, and unfortunately, just nothing happened. So that is what we're looking here. So there's going to be more data coming in around like 8 p.m. So we're going to have another text post. We'll have another text post breakdown of the evening data, the late night data that's coming in. But the main focus is we need to be monitoring the sky and monitoring the Facebook page for the severe weather event. So I think we pretty much covered everything. If you're just tuning in, just make sure you're checking back here regularly for updates. So make sure you're checking back here regularly for updates. And first thing in the morning with these storms, just in case one tries to go severe. And we will keep updated on that conditional threat on the evening time. So, like I said, it's really nothing to panic about because it's still conditional. So we don't want to panic and it ends up not happening. That is a possibility that we could get too much rain for too long in the morning and it throws off the event in the evening time. But I wanted you to be prepared for both sides of this, where we could still see severe storms or we could just see rain and thunderstorms. So it's definitely the probability that it is there. Like the Storm Prediction Center still has confidence that we could see some severe storms. So I want you to be prepared for that. So that is the update. And the last thing we will do, we'll just go over the temperatures real quick. This is our new product that we're trying out here. So we might try to use this for the videos because you can see everybody's almost in the, you know, what am I trying to say? Everybody can see the temperature here. So just take a look at the temperatures tomorrow. You can see we're going to, wait, is this the temperature? Okay. I wasn't used to seeing some 60s. That's all, everyone. So you can see temperatures start off in the morning. It's going to be cool because we do have the storms around the area, but we're going to warm up a little bit and we're going to build some heat and humidity. But we're going to see some low 80s around town, and this model does not go all the way through. Let's get the long range model here. Okay. So you can see the temperatures as we're going throughout the day here. And we're going to be warming up into about the 90s. So we could possibly reach some 90s, which will definitely help us. Yeah, if we reach the 90s, we could see some recovering. And I think the model is trying to predict that there. You can see it flashing on your screen. That's the 90s plus coming through the area. So that's what's flashing on your screen here. Very cool that it does that. And it's still going to be mild as the storms move through it. And look at the cold front moving in, changing up the temperatures. And it's going to be very nice as we start on Sunday with some 60s and 70s as we start on Sunday. So you can see as we get into the afternoon time, if this works out around the 90s, we could see some severe weather, and that will definitely help the atmosphere recover. But the temperature stay a little bit cooler. It's going to be a little bit difficult. But from what the models are saying, around 93, you can see it's so nice because it goes like everywhere, like detailed when you zoom in. I know it flashes. We'll try to work on that, but it's pretty nice. You can see your own city temperature with the model here on this one. Just hard to show the time, but if we get some 90s, we could see, I think, some severe storms. So we'll also be watching the temperature department as well to try to forecast these storms. So, like I said, if you're seeing forecasts going around, it's not a definite forecast because no one knows. No one knows. At this point, to be honest with you, to be 100% honest with you, all these are just predictions right now because two things could happen. There's two things could happen. The models are not saying one or the other right now. So just want to be honest with you and let you know that there's no actual answer what's going to happen. So there's two scenarios. If you're just tuning in before we end the live stream, that we could see morning storms that linger too long into the afternoon, the atmosphere can't recover, and we get little to no storms and no severe weather. Or the storms move out fairly quickly, we warm up, we get nasty outside, then we have the strong line of storms that will have all the favorable ingredients that can perform like damaging winds, tornadoes, and it will move in towards the evening time after 9 p.m. Maybe a little bit earlier, but basically around 9 p.m. And if we have more confidence that the morning storms will not last that long, I wouldn't be surprised if the enhanced risk gets shifted a little back over to cover a little bit more of our area. So if that happens, I could see the enhanced risk being moved over a little bit, but confidence is low at this time, which we won't really know probably till the 7 a.m. outlook what they're actually going to be doing. So, main thing is stay up to date with the Facebook page. Keep checking back here regularly for updates. We're going to keep you updated. We're going to watch the morning storms. If there's severe weather, we'll go live and we'll be on standby to go live when needed Saturday evening to make sure we provide live severe weather coverage for you. So, we're going to be here throughout the whole event to make sure we keep you up to date no matter what is going on. So, if you guys have any questions or comments, let me know in the chat. If not, I think we're going to wrap up the live stream here. I think we're going to wrap up the live stream here for now because that's basically all that there is to talk about. Don't want to drag on too long here, but a half hour for the situation is pretty good. And then we're going to have another update later, once about 8:30 or so, when the model runs again, we'll have the NAM and we'll have the HRRR, all the other models to look at and compare the trends and make sure we're staying up to date with the latest data that's coming in for you. All right, does not look like we have any. Let me refresh the chat to make sure I did not miss anything. Hopefully, I did not miss anything. It does not look like I did. So let's take a look here. Okay, so it doesn't look like I missed anything in the chat, so I think we're going to sign off for now. And let me just check one thing real quick. Alrighty, so I think we're going to sign off for now. We're going to stay tuned to the data, and we're going to make sure we keep you updated, but make sure you're checking back regularly. But it's not a definite yes for severe weather. It's still conditional even at this time, but I wanted to let you guys know the two scenarios that can happen tomorrow evening. Alrighty, so we're going to end the live stream and we're going to continue to look at the data, and all my 6 monitors, we're going to monitor the data and we'll keep you updated with the latest here on TKW.